All right. How are you?
Great.
What's going on, guys? This is Nero,
I'm Ben.
and we are Kings of Gehenna. And the idea behind this video was to really talk about album one, and I guess go through a little bit of riffs, how it came to be, what inspired the riffs, and then play some for you guys, so that we kind of celebrate album one, which was released in November. Although I think we released kind of a different version of it.
Yes, the remix and remaster.
Yeah. I know on in January, so far we have good reception. There's strangely been, I guess. It's funny, isn't it? When you release an album, you obviously want all the songs to be hits. But then
that's not
kind
the
of
case.
when you release it, I think we kind of give the fate of the songs to the audience. And we have some songs which I guess, at least according to social media and streaming platforms, which have been kind of surprisingly popular. And then there's been ones which are less popular, but we are here to go through all of them. I guess I want to ask you, first of all, when I came to you, before we jump to the riffs, what was your sort of mindset when I obviously played some riffs, and we will get to that in a bit later.
Yeah.
You've been a metal guy and metalhead for so many years. What did you feel about the riffs and the riffs that I played to you? I mean, what was the vibe that you got from it?
I thought it was a bit of a different take.
Yeah.
Like, you first showed me King Cobra, then Fracture, which later became House of the
Serpent. Yeah.
Yeah, those two were just mid-tempo, slow driving.
Yeah.
Heavy songs.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I think we like to say we linger in that doom metal slash, we got a bit of trash elements.
We always say Seasons of the Slayer.
That's right. And definitely some albums that inspired us. I guess we will get to that as well. But yeah, it's kind of a very different. I think there's an exotic vibe to those riffs as well.
Especially songs like King Cobra and the title track,
House of Serpent, and all that. And I guess the themes too were kind of a little bit exotic in nature, although we cover universal topics like death, slavery to religion.
Because the lyrics tackle some pretty dark stuff, guys.
Pretty much, and that's metal, isn't it? So all right, let's get to the first song, House of the Serpent. Right. So obviously the idea was I wanted to kind of start the album with a bang, just kind of create a little bit of a, just a kind of an explosive, planted in your ear sort of riff, right? So that's why I went. That sort of wanted to sort of start like that, and then I guess kind of slowly build up to. That was the first track, and does that remind you of any riff or any style of band that you may follow?
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, it's. I guess the idea really was to bring that kind of. It's got a bit of an exotic vibe to it.
Just a bit. Not quite as much as obviously King Cobra.
That's which we'll get to that in a bit. But I mean, in terms of the lyrics of the song, what did you gather from that? I mean, obviously we had a bit of a chat about that. It's a very dark song when you think of it. House of the Serpent. I mean, people are wondering, wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean by House of the Serpent?
Because you wanted the house to be kind of ambiguous. You wanted that
That's
to
right.
represent a lot of things.
It's kind of it could be a place, it could be a
You
person.
wanted to represent whatever you want.
Pretty much. It's the house was kind of I guess a symbol for it's either a place.
Again, whatever you want.
Yeah, a person, addiction, whatever it is, that you can't escape from. And that was, and I think that, so the main riff, it kind of adds to that because it's a very kind of scary, dark. It kind of gets the people thinking like, okay, that's a pretty dark song. So that's that, right? And then any further comments about that song? Anything?
Not
Any part
particularly.
that
It's
you
kind
like?
of straight to the point.
Yeah, and there's a solo there too. Why don't you show us the solo?
Some of it at least.
Yeah, some of it. That's
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did you? Are there any thoughts in terms of your solo? Like, what sort of was there an approach that you took to the solos of this album? And there's a few others which we'll sort of get to.
I noticed I had a Phrygian kind of feel.
Yeah.
Which, for all you people who don't know that much music theory out there, which is probably a lot of you.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
It's a scale that's infamous for sounding really dark and heavy.
Yeah.
And you had that kind of feel in the riff that was going behind it.
Yeah.
So I just went for it.
Yeah. So you just wanted to obviously complement the, and I think it's a really awesome solo, man. Like it really adds that ambient to the room,
I wanted that to be a highlight solo.
Yeah, it is. And when we play live,
It's gonna be a big moment.
I really look forward to playing this song
yeah.
and obviously the solo. All right, so second one was Temple of Sorrow. Is the album track, and obviously we won't play the whole song, but
Just you played. I still can't wrap my hand. Wrap my hand around this.
It's actually the hardest riff for
me to
Ben to
play,
master.
yes.
I guess that I don't know whether that's a weird scale as usual that I'm known to be playing. Alien scales.
It's in some. You made up this like weird kind of polyrhythm where it's in 4, but like the beats keep on going like this.
Yeah.
Like guys, try and tap your toe to this.
I mean, obviously that's not the start of the song. So that was kind of inspired to me by Alice in Chains, Them Bones. Kind of that.
We used to have another song that was inspired by it.
Oh yeah, big influence.
Yeah, I remember that song. It was like a.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I just feel like they're a very underrated band. I mean, people don't really. I don't think classic, unless you're a die-hard fan, you don't. It's not a band which pops up when you talk about metal, heavy metal. Obviously, they're more from the grunge sort of days, but I think they got some really heavy riffs, man. And
oh yeah.
Definitely, I was listening to some of their albums when coming up with the tracks. But with Temple of Sorrow, I guess one part that I really like is the bridge. Yeah, so that's just, and it's obviously our title track. It's got, again, a variety of themes. Obviously, it's a lot to do with religious slavery, extremism.
That particular track, I didn't actually look into the lyrics that hard.
Yeah, it's
because
more...
we never really rehearsed that one, so I didn't really have time to.
Yeah, it's like, and it's one of the shortest songs too. But it is our title track.
Yeah, because most of the tracks are like 4, 5, 6 minutes.
Pretty much. So yeah, well, let's jump on to the other one, which is probably maybe your favorite riff, huh? And it's the first riff that I actually played
King Cobra.
played to Ben. Yeah, when I met. So I mean,
Yes.
what's your thoughts on the riff? What did you think of it when you first heard of this riff?
You said you wanted to have that snake charming kind of vibe.
Yeah,
And I can see that pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's sort of, to me, the whole I guess the essence of the riff was really inspired by snake charmers of India, and
Oh, yeah.
they they obviously have their flute that they play with, but those I thought there was some really exotic sonics coming from that,
Oh, yeah.
that those guys, and I really want to capture that in the song, and funnily enough the song's called King Cobra 2, which is kind of a tribute, but it also has a meaning behind that as well. King Cobra, I mean, the beauty of this album is that it's not, when you say King Cobra or Temple of Sorrow or Funeral Fire, it's not necessarily we are kind of saying this is about that, but I guess the idea was this: it's got so many different meanings, and it's, well, this song's definitely not about the animal, but
No.
but obviously about
Much
what
like,
it could symbolize.
Much like House of Serpent, it's kind of about whatever you want.
That's it. I mean, when I say King Cobra, like, what does it symbolize to you? Like, it's quite a few.
Well,
things
the animal came to mind first and foremost.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the more abstract kind of thing
Abstract,
came through. Where
yeah,
it's like whatever you...
fear,
where it's about whatever you want, pretty
venom,
much.
right? And dying and sort of an agonizing slow death. So, I guess those things were what's on my mind. But let's show the audience what was on our mind really. So remember, we wanted a bit of a slow start. And then it goes to... That's pretty much straight out of the Snake Charmer's Bible of Riffs or something. But obviously this has got one of your best solos, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, well, why don't we quickly...
I don't remember.
You want to give it a try? Okay, I did it. So.
At least a bit of it.
Yeah. All ready? 1, 2, 3. Was there how did you come up with that solo? Was there a specific thought process that went in your mind when you came up with that one?
Once again, I had that Phrygian kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I added in some extra notes.
Yeah. Is Phrygian your sort of go-to scale, or did you
It's
feel
definitely
that,
one of them.
Right. Did you feel like this album, these riffs, that I came up with would match Phrygian better than other scales, or?
Yeah, definitely. Plus you wanted that whole Indian Middle Eastern thing.
Yeah. Sort of that.
There's also this scale called harmonic minor, which a lot of you probably know. And there's a version of Phrygian which blends both of them together.
Right.
So I just went for that.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it locks together very well.
Yeah, no, it's a standout solo, man.
Oh, yeah.
It really kind of takes, and especially because remember the solo was supposed to be the outro. for it's pretty much
Kinda
the
made for
outro.
a good outro.
That's it, and it's kind of it doesn't let go of that exotic nature of the main riff of the song.
Chef's right
So
now.
yeah, so that's good. So that's King Cobra, probably the best riff in
And
our
quite possibly the best song.
Yeah, quite possibly the best song as well. Yeah.
We originally had it as the opener as well.
Yeah, we
but
did
then,
have the
no.
opener, yeah, but I guess we said maybe we'll put the best song as number 3, which I don't know why, but it is what it is. It just happened that way. All right, so that's that song. Then we go to our instrumental, which again had a few name changes, but it ended up becoming the Summoning of Bagel. Right? Do we tell the audience who Bagel is? Do you remember?
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's a, sort of this pagan demon, sort of from the outer world. He sort of I guess he's known to kidnapping children and
I remember the story,
eating their flesh and all that stuff. So.
Perfect
Yeah,
for us metal
I mean,
guys.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess I was making that riff and song, and I just had that. He
Image.
comes in the film Sinister, right? He's a kind of the figure demon there. So it just stuck in my mind, and this riff, which funnily enough, it's got a bit of a Sri Lankan temple hymn to it to start with, which if you heard the album you'll know. And then remember, I sort of thought let's just start with a really creepy. Yeah, that sort of
gotta show it next
that sort of thing. So it sort of started off with that weird thing, and then kind of it really was an experimental sort of track. It had the
Absolutely.
and then we added some effects there, and I think Simon, which we talked in a bit, really took this song from one level to the next level because he added a few heartbeats, and remember if we will talk about that in a bit, and then it comes to the main riff. So it's what I mean. I feel like we needed an instrumental, and it's maybe it's kind of a not a lost art, but it's probably not a real common thing nowadays. Why do you think that is? Why don't you think that bands don't really
Instrumentals?
Yeah, put out instrumentals out there? Just is there a reason in terms of
Well,
the
most
modern
people
world?
just feel like they need lyrics for songs.
Yeah. Maybe I just feel like we need a bit of a breather, and probably people, were already sick of my singing at that point in time anyway after the 3 songs. So I thought let's just give them something they can actually enjoy. And
We also got to mention the Terminator edit
yeah,
that our producer Simon made.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's I like the concept of having the idea of having an instrumental. I think it sort of not only it gives a breather sort of vocally, but it just sort of takes the audience on a different journey, in terms of riff wise and all that. So it's I think for at least for us, and obviously these things could change, but having an instrumental on each album that we do, it should be really it just captures the essence of the album from riffs wise, because when you add vocals to any riff, it changes. It just changes.
The vocals become the focal point.
That's it. Vocals are kind of the heartbeat, right? So so it's that's the interest of the inspiration behind having an instrumental. All right, so the next song, and now we kind of get to the middle point of the album, is called Crown of Snakes, right? And then I wanted to put a bit of a kind of an exotic, almost Indian sitarist sort of intro. It's obviously our fastest song.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I guess, you could call it an arena number or whatever. It's sort of supposed to be the big kind of, fast song. But one of my favorite parts of that song is actually the bridge, where if you remember, we go. So simple. It's just kind of
simple.
Added the kind of
simple,
twist
quick,
to it.
comes out of nowhere. Because most of this album is slow.
That's right. So it sort of changes the whole tempo of the album. It's kind of like to me, this song's like a really fast-moving train. Without much. There's not much, stop. Like you said, there's no stop to think about this and that.
No.
We just sort of went with it in terms of the recording. So any thoughts on that song? Does it remind you of any track or any?
This particular track I'm not actually that familiar with. Because first off, I didn't really play it at all.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, I need more time with this one. This is one of the tracks that you kind of wrote and just recorded.
That's right.
And didn't even tell me about because you wanted to focus on the other one.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, the last, it's like I said, it's kind of a fast-moving train. There's not much thought which went to it.
No.
We just sort of went with it. But
you just wanted it to.
Yeah, just pretty much straight away. So, talking about putting thoughts into things, and this is probably your favorite track next, isn't it? Hello, High Water.
High Water, yes it is.
Why don't you play for us? How play?
I started, of course.
Yeah, you start there. is there a reason why this is sort of one of your favorite tracks? It's
Got a
obviously very
slow
groovy.
driving groove.
Yeah.
A big chorus.
Yeah.
Probably the best solo I laid down as well.
That's it. Well, let's
Yeah, we
show
absolutely
show
gotta
them
do that.
your lead part for this one.
Yeah. So first off, I go back to the start for a little bit. Then a double time.
Beautiful.
There's a little break.
Yeah.
And then back to the chorus.
Awesome. And
Oh yeah.
and you kind of came up with this on the spot too, isn't it? Yeah.
I just
How
wanted
cool
that
is
little shred lick.
Yeah. Was there a bit of a thought process in your mind when you came that, or were you just
That
trying to
particular lick?
compliment? Yeah, that one.
I just went down the normal minor scale.
Right. So you just wanted to compliment the main riff, and yeah. You know, to me, what's beauty about this song and this solo that you came up with, which by the way comes in the end as well. It's probably the only song where the solo.
Oh yeah, fades back in.
Yeah, there's two parts of the solo. It's almost like the solo is a different entity, but it just fits in. Whereas in the other ones, House of Serpent, King Cobra, the solo complements the main riff. But I feel like here the solo just stands out. But
Because
kind
it's
of-
just the solo.
that's it. But in kind of a strange way, the two rivers meet in the end anyway. So would you say this is your best solo from the
Yes.
album? Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Best
yeah.
solo full stop.
Yeah,
Yes.
although I like your King Cobra one. Yeah, so that's Hell or High Water. And so we are kind of now going towards the end of the album. And this one's sort of, I think this is when we get a little bit more experimentally, a little bit more exotic, you know.
We do kind of pan it out.
Yeah, you know, sort of, now I think towards this stage of the album, it's more sort of...
Wrapping things up.
Yeah, wrapping things
for
up
one.
and all
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, this one's called Scorpion Spring. Which, by the way, our producer Simon, and we'll get to that, thought it was called Scorpion King.
Yeah, I remember that from the video.
So, thought that was a bit of a funny twist there. But
And this is another song I'll let you take the lead on.
yeah. So, well, the main riff goes quite simple. Yeah, so obviously I played a bit of a faster, maybe
Another faster song,
another
yeah.
one, So it's so that's that song. It's I think it's a weird little kind of weird riff that's it probably sounded very alien to the listeners here. It's not something
Definitely,
that you hear, but it's quite simple in nature. That part, that's sort of the main riff that I wanted to sort of, explore, and the themes and the lyrics wise of this song is actually quite dark. It sort of explores,
Right. This is once again another one I don't really know that much about lyrically.
Yeah. It's sort of it's kind of the idea for me was there's this place in Sri Lanka where kind of a mountain top where all these couples commit suicide or used to,
Oh,
and
yeah,
kind
I
of in
remember
a
you saying this
strange
now.
dark way. I had that thought in my mind when writing this riff. Why I don't know, but and I just the lyrics of this song, if you look deeply, they actually refer to those guys who are kind of they're denied love by society, either which is due to cultural reasons, extremism,
Right.
all that, and they have no choice other than to actually kill themselves. So it's quite dark in nature, and to
Perfect
me,
rap kind of thing, too.
yeah, that's very right. So it's just what I guess it's just kind of what inspired that song there. All right, so I mean, talking about weird riffs, next one's kind of a bit of a crowd favorite too. Genjutsu, which is a Japanese term, I believe, for
Yeah, it is Japanese.
visual illusions. If you're obviously watching anime and all that, you'll probably know what Genjutsu is. It's basically putting someone under your spell, but through your eyes, right? Again, varied meanings, but you want to show us how that quickly goes through? Remember? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's sort of a very sort of a slow beat. It builds up the
One of the slowest songs.
atmosphere. It kind of starts as a bit of a doom song. So it's the lyrics are always about put someone on spell. And what we sort of put in that song is that's sort of the first half of the song, and then it kind of explodes into a faster riff, which goes. I guess to me, at least, what I gathered there was, so we talk about being under someone's spell, right, visually, but what it's like to actually be under that spell, and it's definitely no calm. It scares, right? Like imagine being stuck, again on something that you can get out from. So that's the whole of the chaos of those lyrics or theme of that song. I think to me was reflected in that.
Yeah, because that bit acts as a very big shift from the start.
Pretty much, and then anyway we get back to the.
Yeah, so it has a feeling of leaping back down.
Yeah, so kind of take them on a roller coaster and then come back to sort of.
This song definitely does.
Yeah, they do. So
Most of these tracks are doing that.
pretty much, it's very experimental, that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so, and we are coming to the end of the end riff.
The end of the album, yes.
Funeral Fire. What was? I mean, this was one of the first riffs that I played to you as well. Along
Yes,
with
this is
King
probably
Cobra.
the third or fourth song you showed me.
What was going through your mind when I played that riff to you?
I just saw it as like the big dumb slow song at the end.
Yeah, big dumb slots. Like
Something just very, very, very
traditional
zoomy.
metal. Yeah.
It's the same time signature the whole time, same tempo the whole time.
Yeah.
It's only like what, 2 or 3 parts.
Yeah,
And you just
pretty
keep on
much.
flip flopping between them.
Yeah, which is kind of the formula for
The
traditional
vocals are
metal.
very bombastic on this one. Lots
Yeah.
of different effects.
Yeah.
Very loud. You do some weird vocal techniques that don't
Weird
show up
vocal
anywhere
techniques.
else.
Weird, you mean normal, yeah? Yeah, well, it's, no, you're right, man. It's at least to me, it was sort of a tribute to your Black Sabbath and Candlemass and all these traditional doom metal albums, which
And the darker side of doom metal.
yeah, that's right, and
Death doom and funeral doom and blah blah blah.
that's right, and I know you're kind of getting into more funeral doom
Yes.
lately,
I love it.
but I've been pretty much just following.
And it's
them,
way darker than what we do.
Yeah, pretty
way,
much.
way,
pretty
way
much,
darker. Much
pretty much.
slower. The songs are way
Yeah,
longer.
yeah. The theme and again the lyrical content of the album was it's basically about burning someone, after their death. Obviously based on Hindu rituals
that where
and
we
all
ended
that.
the fire
Yeah,
sample?
that's a
I did
funeral
not
fire.
know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. So that's the kind of the concept behind funeral fire. If you actually see the lyrics too, it's
I'll
got,
do that again.
yes, it's pretty much someone just narrating their own funeral, right? In a kind of a strange way, but obviously they're saying, look, just burn me away, wash my sins and all that stuff, right? But in terms of a riff, again, like you said, slow, traditional, good. It's a very, like you said, quite easy, straightforward riff to play, but I think it's also one of those riffs where you just have to get the feel of it.
Yes.
It's very atmospheric, very sort of broad.
Big open spaces too.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's believe it or not, it's our most popular song on Spotify.
Somehow.
People just love it. I guess that traditional doom elements, and it's a bit of a different riff, bit of a different topic too. I don't think there's many metal bands, especially in the Western, the world, that talks about Hindu sort of rituals and funeral there. I mean,
really.
have you heard of any? I think it's got a pretty unique lyrical element to it
The
as well.
only band that comes to mind is Bloody Word.
Right.
Who are an Indian band.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. I think they touch a little bit on that one.
A lot. It's all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So I mean that's album one.
Yep.
So yeah, it's we played 9 songs, 9 different riffs, and it's out there on Spotify, on YouTube.
All platforms, really.
Yeah, pretty much all platforms. Please give us a like, follow, and we always appreciate your support. And we'll be pretty much progressing on to album number 2
Yes.
in a few months. And yeah, any words, any further thoughts?
Better
about
throw
the
that I have a solo project too. Better put some links to that somewhere.
Yeah, why not?
Once again on all platforms. Go give it a shot.
Yeah. All right. Name.
It's just under my real name, which is Ben Coulson. Again, links in the description.
Yeah. Check us out, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.